Hey guys, what is up? RedPandaMining here. How you guys all doing? Hope you're all doing really well and having a really great day. In this video, I just received two of these ElmorLabs PMD power measuring device. And so what these basically do is be able to read the true power consumption coming from either PCIe or from CPU, EPS. I saw a video review from Red Fox Crypto and as well as Mad Electron Engineering. You guys should definitely go check them out. They did reviews on these PMD devices and it is really cool. This is going to give a lot more value when it comes to testing out GPUs in terms of wondering the true power consumption at the riser level and at the PCIe on the GPUs, at the top of the GPUs, okay? So this is extremely cool and I want to test out a bunch of GPUs today in this video, and notorious one that I'm excited for is the A2000, as this GPU does not have external 8-pin or 6-pin for power, but it draws the power from its X16 slot. So that is going to be quite fun, and I'll test a few more GPUs. I'm not quite sure which ones yet, but maybe also this 90HX, this NVIDIA CMP from LabradorMining.com. And so let me go ahead and plug it into my test bench with a GPU, and then I'll go ahead and explain what each of these ports are going to be doing. And I guess this is a little screen here as well. Okay, so be right back. Okay, I want to show you guys the whole test bench setup that I have going on here and my testing methodology using the ElmorLabs PMD. Now, it is mining right now with an A2000, and just to show you guys the hash rate, we're getting about 40 to 41 mega hash. It's kind of jumping around a bit, but generally around there, and you can see in the software it says 69 watts. So nice. You can see here the PMD though is showing 69 to 70 watts being utilized through a single 8-pin coming from a 1200 watt HP server PSU. Okay, and so that's going through into the PMD, and then on the other side, which is going through PCIe 1, all right, this cable here is then going into the riser. All right, that has just a 6-pin. And like I said before, this A2000 GPU does not have a dedicated 6-pin power externally. Okay, so we're gathering the power through the riser. Okay, I just wanted to explain all the options that we can cycle through on the LCD screen here. So the button to do that is on the left side here, and we're just gonna click it once. And you can see it says CPU, and that just shows the power, the full power coming from these two EPS pins, which we are not utilizing right now. Alright, so next one is then PCIe 1, which is this one. And you can see the smaller information here that shows the wattage, the name of the port, as well as the voltage and amps. Okay, voltage is there, and the amps, it says 5.5 around there, so that's really cool numbers, right? So now if we hit the next button here, and we can go to PCIe 2, and it's going to be these two 8-pins right here, but we are not utilizing those because the A2000 doesn't have external power. So we will be testing that next on a RTX 3070. This is an LHR, and this one has two 8-pins. Okay, so we're going to try that after this. Alright, going to keep cycling through the options here, and EPS 1, you can see the individual power for the CPU on this one, which we don't have, and then EPS 2 is going to be this one. So you can see the different, specific ports, we can see the individual power. Okay, so PCIe 1, we can see that. PCIe 2, which is combined on these two ports, we can see those together, and then EPS 1, EPS 2 for CPU. So really cool. This is awesome. Man, this brings a lot more value towards GPU testing, as well as just figuring out the power consumption, the true power consumption at the wall. Okay, so you can see at the watt meter at the wall, it's 82 coming out of the HP server power supply. Now the difference that we see from here and the watt meter at the wall, right? So 70 watts on the A2000 versus 81. Now that extra, I would say 11 watts or so, is coming from the HP server power supply, because we are not running this at the efficient level that this is supposed to be running at, which is about, I think, 50 or 60%. I can show a screenshot on the screen here for this specific HP server PSU. So because we are drawing a lot lower in terms of power consumption, the HP server PSU is drawing a bit more because it's just inefficient that way, running it at these lower levels. So wow, awesome. Okay guys, that's really cool. So that's just a quick little overview of this guy running on the A2000. You guys can see how efficient this GPU is, and I could probably tune it a lot better. I am only running it at absolute core clock of 1000 and memory clock of 1400. Okay, so we verified that. Guys, let's plug in the next GPU. Let me get the, I want to do the 90HX. Be right back. Okay, the 90HX is mining, and here are the hash rates I'm getting. About 97 to 98 mega hash, and at about 224 watts or so. Okay, I have the fan at 60%, and at the PMD we are showing about, together for the whole GPU, looks like 225 watts. Looks like it's like kind of fluctuating a bit, 222 to 225, but that's for the whole GPU. Now, if we want to figure out the riser power, okay, so that's going to be for, let's see here, PCIe 1. All right, so PCIe 1, the riser power is drawing about 17 watts or so, 17, 16, 18 watts. And so that's really low. So this GPU seems to be okay if, you know, a lot of people talk about having SATA power on their risers. Now, I definitely don't recommend using SATA power for any GPUs. Always stick with 6-pin PCIe at all costs, as 6-pin PCIe is only able to go up to about 75 watts. And when you put that 6-pin to SATA adapter on and use SATA for power, SATA can only go up to about like 53 watts or something like that. Go watch Mad Electron's video where he did a review of this, and he tested out a bunch of GPUs, and there was a couple that he had that took a lot more than 53 watts on the riser. So that's something everyone should be aware of. Mad Electron, your video is amazing. Everyone should go watch that video. Mad Electron is way smarter than I am. Guys, make sure you go subscribe to him. Let's get him to 40K subscribers. That'd be awesome. Anyways, that was the riser power. So now we want to do to PCIe 2. Oops, I skipped it. Let's go to PCIe, one more, PCIe 2. Okay, so this is for these two PCIe cables right here, which are going to the top of the 90HX. So it says it is drawing about 204, 207 watts. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good. That's awesome. So if you add up that and add up the PCIe 1 that we were getting, then we'll get that 225, 224. It's fluctuating quite a bit, but yeah, that's what it is. That's awesome. So riser power, it's not that much on this 90HX specifically, when, of course, when we undervolt and do some overclocking and stuff on this GPU for mining. So this is basically a 3080, and this is a GPU from LabradorMining.com. So thanks to them for this GPU. Yet again, I did a review of this. If you guys want to see other hash rates that this GPU can achieve, there's a video that I did about this. Anyways, let's do one more GPU. Let's go ahead and put this Asus Strix RTX 3070 LHR to the test and see how much power it's going to draw at the GPU at the top here and at the riser level as well. Okay, so you guys will see the GPU on here in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Here's the Asus Strix 3070 all plugged in, and I am mining Ethereum on, I'm using T-Rex miner, okay, and so since this is a LHR card, I'm getting about 45 mega hash, and T-Rex miner says we're using LHR 74, and the power consumption according to T-Rex miner says I'm using 106 or 103 watts. It's fluctuating quite a bit, but if we go to the PMD, I'm gonna say is using, I don't, 100 and 110, 120. It's going up and down like nuts. But looking at the power consumption, okay, that seems to be pretty low actually for 44, 45 mega hash. It says 111 watts in the software. So what it's showing in the software and then what's showing at the PMD here is, I would say, is it pretty accurate? Let's go to PCIe 1. That's for the riser. Okay, so the riser is, it says it's pulling about 6 to 8 watts on the riser. And then at the PCIe 2, at the GPU, at the top of the GPU, okay, these two 8 pins, is drawing, let's see, 105, 104, 103. It's fluctuating all over the place. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's going all over. So that's for PCIe 2. And then at the wall, for my watt meter, out of the power supply, it shows 120 watts, 122, 125. It's fluctuating. And then at the motherboard, it's showing about another 20 watts just for all of this. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna have to say, in the software, we're pretty close to what the PMD is showing here, specifically for this RTX 3070 LHR, the Strix one. And yeah, I think my efficiency here, 44, 45 megahash at about this power consumption, kind of reminds me of, I don't know, maybe like a RX 5600 XT that can get like 43, 44 megahash, but at like, I don't know, 90 watts or something. I have not played around with a 5600 XT now for a while. I'm just thinking now that these LHR cards are getting a little bit better in terms of efficiency and the unlock for the LHR. It's getting better. It's getting better. But how much more or how much less efficient are these GPUs compared to like previous generation of AMD cards and the last generation of NVIDIA cards, like the 20 series? Anyways, this video is about the PMD. This is really cool, guys. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm definitely wanting to try out more GPUs down the road. I do have another one of these, and so I want to set up the other one and do like some head-on comparisons against like the same GPU. So I have multiple like 3080s, non-LHRs, and I want to do different models. I have like a bunch of AMD cards. I want to know those and see what the riser power is, because this thing it's pretty accurate. It's really accurate. It's really awesome to see the actual power consumption coming out of a typical riser, right? And so the people that had the questions of, you know, whether or not, you know, they can use SATA or not, then this basically will help answer those questions. But there are so many different GPU models out there and different brands, and go watch Matt Electron's video. He actually tested that against like a Founders Edition, a 3080, and then like a AIB branded RTX 3080, and there was a considerable difference between the Founders and AIB branded ones. So anyways, Matt Electron, thanks for that video. Red Fox, you too, man, thanks for doing the review on this and opening my eyes, and as well as opening eyes for everyone else. So hopefully in this video, if you guys watch this, check out ElmorLabs. I'm not sponsored by them. This is something I bought. I bought 2 of them. It took about a good week to get it shipped to me, and yeah, it was not that bad. The ElmorLabs PMD, this was about $45. So check it out, guys. Really awesome, really awesome. I'm just gonna end off with, if you guys do decide to get this, one thing I would just be careful of, make sure, and I almost made this mistake, this PMD comes with 5 different like kind of like PCIe cables that go into the PMD, but make sure the connector ends that you plug in the right side. As these cables, there is an 8-pin, but then you can take off the connector to make it a 6-pin. Okay, but then on this end of the PCIe cables, you can't take off anything. Okay, so just be mindful, because I plugged in like the other side of that into here, and then this side went into the GPU, and I'm like, wait a second, that would probably melt or do something weird. So just be mindful of when you plug these in. Just look at the ends if you guys do decide to get this. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts of what I tested today and what you guys think of this PMD from ElmorLabs Power measurement device. It's pretty awesome. It's actually quite funny to see this LHR GPU just go nuts compared to like non-LHR GPUs, which seemed like the power was a lot more stable, but this is like fluctuating quite a bit. Alright guys, have a good one, and peace out.